Welcome to the Webby and O'Neill channel. With us is a striker who's in an elite group, 30 odd goals in a season. Not many have done that, Brian. Thanks for coming.
Very kind of you. Thanks very much for inviting me along. Delighted to be here.
Right. Well, you're here at the right moment. Strikers are being talked about here at Manchester United. Harry Kane, Haaland. There's an offer there for Harry Kane, apparently.
Right.
£90 million. But first, before we go into that, our strikers at the moment, Cavani, Martial, these strikers, what's your opinion on them?
Well, I mean, I think Cavani has done really well for Manchester United. He's scored a lot of vital goals. Hopefully that he'll stay for a longer period, maybe another year. I think he could be a player that can be very influential both on and off the pitch with regards to strikers, because he makes some wonderful. I mean, if you watch the games, the number of times that people comment on what he does, he makes a lot of intelligent runs in the box. I think you can see with his goal scoring record, which is incredible, is that he makes a lot of opportunities for himself, for different kinds of finishes, right foot, left foot, heading the ball. And hopefully then, so as I say, I'd like to see him stay as be part of the squad. Not necessarily saying that he would play all the games, but play enough games, I think, to be a big contributor for Manchester United. I'm not a huge fan of Anthony Martial, only because for me, what I see is a football fan, forget about being, is I want to see players who perspire.
Yeah,
I want to see players who I mean,
put it on the line.
Alex Ferguson had a great thing to say, is that all you're in control of, you're not in control of form, you're not in control of the referee, you're not in control of the opponents. The only thing you're ever in control of in every single game is your effort. Don't come up. If you have to get taken off that pitch because you have run yourself into the ground, I've got a couple of subs here, and obviously that's increased now, the number of subs you can have. For me as a football fan, you want to see the players that go onto that football pitch representing what most people do during the week is grafting, right? And you go to the games midweek or the weekend to be entertained by people who are representing you and representing your football team, and you want to see a proper shift out of them. I don't see that from Anthony Martial. I don't think the lad likes football. That's what I see when I don't really see somebody that loves football. He has got certain attributes, quick, and he's got an eye for goal, but I don't think he does enough. You know, I want to see somebody that, you know, I don't see him when he walks off that pitch tired. You know, loads of the times you've had to take off Rashford, for example, is because he's injured or he's exhausted. He's given his all. Cavani gives his all. With regards to Harry Kane, it's somebody that I've said that Manchester United should be trying to sign for a number of years.
Yes. I
think that you need to sign players that will almost guarantee you 20 league goals. As a striker, if you can get someone who'll score 20 league goals for you, you've got a chance of a shout of being in the shake-up with regards to trophies, more pertinently probably for the Premier League. Harry Kane has got the best Premier League record. He's proven that he can score goals in the Premier League. The only thing that you would have to consider is maybe it's because he plays all the time, which is one thing that's great, that he's prepared to play every game, that he's fit or nearly fit, but he has got a few injuries and missed a few games.
Yeah.
But I say I'll counter that argument by he always seems to be prepared to play for his football team and indeed for his country. He would be one I would, as I said, welcome, and think he'd do very, very well at Manchester United.
Moving on. The club, for a long time, with its fans, have been at loggerheads. No bigger loggerheads than the last 10 days, what you've seen. How do you see what's going on outside, inside the club? especially since that Super League, what we call it, has gone on and the fans have revolted and they've clearly made the feelings felt. Glazers out.
Well, I mean, if you're talking about an idea that was muted and then made public with regards to the European Super League, if they wanted to galvanise if that was their intentions to galvanise the supporter of the game, not just about the clubs that are involved, then they made a wonderful job of that.
Yeah.
I think that it's the sort of thing that we're not, as Manchester United fans, we're not surprised about, because there are views with people in different countries on how, comparative to maybe their sports, if you're looking at sport in America, it's all of their franchises, all of their sporting teams play in scenarios where it's a closed shop.
Yeah.
So they all know that they can play. If you decide you're going to play a particular way in any of their sport, there is no fear of there is fear of failure, because you're going to be successful, but there's no fear you're going to lose out on your status in that particular division. And that they've never really understood this concept that anybody of any player in any of the leagues, irrespective of your fan base, irrespective of the income, could actually lose their status in the Premier League or the Bundesliga or the Serie A or in any other leagues. So it's not surprising about what they're trying to do. There's always been disputes with UEFA. That's why the Champions League came about. But it's great to see, for me, fans saying, well, we don't want this, and in all sorts of different ways you can do now. And I'm not surprised about the protests. You don't want to see people breaking into places and running about on the pitch, and eventually a game has to get called off for several different reasons. But according to the comments that were made on what I saw on the television, that the vast majority of it was peaceful, and I think that they were entitled to be able to protest. Yeah. And it's something that's not just about football, it's something that's been suggested throughout the country, and what government have been trying to do is stop people being able to do what Manchester United fans felt they were entitled to at the weekend.
Everybody's got the right to protest.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the right. It's one right, what we've all got. It's what happens in that protest, unfortunately, these negative publicity from certain outlets.
But you're always going to get that, though. I mean, that's what, Tony, if you spend all your time over the last 15, 16 months watching the news, right? It's sensational. It's all about the negative things. It's all about the thing that people are going to go, and it's this and that. A lot of the times it doesn't come to fruition, but people don't want to. People watch the news because of that. They get addicted to the news. I think very much more so in the last 15 or 16 months. You're going to always get it. You've been involved in watching football games for a long, long time, and a number of events. It's not the good things that fans do when they go away. They may well, meet some people and do something nice for them. It's always the one little event it's
always the negative.
So that we can accept that that's going to be the case. What's good about now is that there's so many other platforms you can put forward that positive view and say, well, and accept it, because you have to accept that there is going to be some instances when you're going to be, when some kind of things might happen. What hopefully for me is that not just about you, is that can this make a change? Can you create an environment? Can you create situations where they have to listen? Are they listening? I don't know if any of these American owners in particular are listening, but you want them to listen, then can it make a difference? And I would like to hope that would be the case, because clearly it's made a difference in Germany, but maybe their whole idea is because their government got involved early on and that they saw their sporting clubs, not just in football, as being part of their national identity. Something that they were saying, well, no, this is something that should remain within the grasp of
The people.
working class people, the people, the grassroots people, and that they indeed can have a view on how the team that they love is run. That's something that you would love. I think we'd love to see in sport, and particularly in football, and more petulantly Manchester United, because we're Manchester. That's what we're talking about. So yes, let's hopefully that this can continue and build up something that they will listen to, have to listen to, enough interest and enough people getting involved in something that will work for the supporter, not the customer, the supporter.
I get 100% where you're coming from. But in this country, many, many times, you can go and ask for change, this, that, and the other, and your politicians, because that's where the change has got to come from. And how many times have they always let football fans down? So we can only see, time will tell, on which way it'll push. Will that push succeed? Will the politicians go through with it? Unfortunately, with these politicians, they're only here for a short period of time. And many times, as with other organisations and protests and people speaking out.
That's down to the people. That's down to the people.
The people to continue. They have to continue with the protests until they see change.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's got if you say that it's that you see the politicians in transitionary and short term, that doesn't mean that the policy has to be short term. It's not. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your supporters, your family, your grandkids. That's what you're doing it for. You're doing it because of the heritage. You know, it's a football club.
Part of your life.
It's a big part of people's life.
Your life.
It's gone for a lot of people who are involved, and it's gone away from not the supporter and the more protect. I mean, I think it's insulting that you're talking about legacy fans. That you're one of them. Right? I think you're a legacy fan because you don't travel thousands of miles and spend hundreds of pounds in the shop, but you'll go. If you could get a chance, you'd be in Gdansk, couldn't you?
Everyone who's a United fan, I was brought up, right? It's part of your family. Doesn't matter where they come from, and you all look after each other. That's how I was brought up. We're one family. It doesn't matter where they're from, right? Or how they support the club, right? You're all one family. So
exactly, it's everybody. Supporters to an end, not a customer.
Yeah, we're supporters. Now, we know the arguments of customers, this, that, and the other. Unfortunately, that's the way they look at it. But we know what this club is to everyone.
It would appear that certainly there are several people locally who turned up at the weekend who would like to see change. No doubt that, like you said, a supporter of Manchester United, which is global, would imagine some of them would like to see change. Because you want to see, what do we want? You want, and what you want is to be in the shake-up for trophies. That's what we've been used to. Maybe we've been a bit spoiled at it because of the huge success we have had. But Manchester United should be certainly in the hunt for all the trophies that are.
Well, that's a great line to get us on to what we're going for here. Trophies.
Yeah.
We're in one.
Well, yeah.
Barring
we're in
a
two,
nightmare performance.
We're in two, but it's highly unlikely we'll win the other one.
Now, Europa League Final. Solskjaer has broke his hoodoo.
Well, I mean, there's the likelihood is Manchester United are clear favourites to go to the final in Gdansk, and
how do you see that on going forward?
Players,
Very
clear. I'm not sure that. I'd be very surprised if players have changed right through the history of the game. You want to play football and play professional football because you fell in love with the game, and you're fortunate enough maybe to play for a team that you actually supported before you turned out from. Part of the thing is always be about winning, and when you've been in a situation where you've played in semi-finals, it always kind of like a lot of clubs, and it's always been an irritation of mine about and I played in games where it started, was that he changed the team for the League Cup. Now they've changed the team for the FA Cup, but they don't change the team for the final very often. You know, so if you get to the final of the competition, usually it's a really, really strong team that plays the final.
Yeah.
But if you get to the final, you want to play in finals. You want to play and you want to win things. At the end of it, you see a number of times where they're winding up people on. You've got the match of the day, probably more particular, and you've got Alan Shearer, and you've got Ian Wright, and you've got Gary Lineker, and during the coverage of the FA Cup and the FA Cup games. They're having a bit of go at each other. You didn't win one, Alan. Did you Did you win one? You know, and they're in their 50s now, so it's important.
Yes,
so it's important when you're playing to be involved in finals in time, and winning becomes a habit. Yeah. Ferguson said that all the time. Yeah, it becomes habitual, and you want to go back, and you want every year you want to, right. Let's win something else.
How important to Solskjaer? Especially, I mean, he takes criticism and he takes praise, but how important is it going forward for Solskjaer to have that first trophy on the table? He has.
I think all those things are important. He's always been successful as a player. He knows what it's like to play in finals. He knows what it's like to be substitute in final. He knows all those things, and being involved in championship within teams, and the joy that has. Mick Phelan does too. And so I'm sure that they'd want the same experiences. I think they're in a situation now where they can go one-off game, assuming they can get through a tie against Roma, where players will want to play and they want to win. I think it's important for Manchester United and anybody who's coaching them that they're in finals and they win things.
We're 99.9% there. Who would you like to see out of the two other semi-finalists, Villareal and Arsenal?
Well, I think Manchester United are the stronger of all the teams that are left in it, so I wouldn't be bothered about.
Great.
Whoever it was. I want one thing. You want Manchester United to be there. You want it to be a great final. I think that the last game when they played Ajax in Sweden, I thought it was a cracking game of football, great atmosphere and a wonderful event. And I know there won't be as many people at the game because of the local rules at the moment. But let's have it be. I want it to be a cracking game of football, and I think Manchester United, I've got enough about them. But I would be more concerned, I think, if I was at Arsenal or Villareal looking at Manchester United than I would the other way around. I'm not dismissing them.
No, but that's how it should be.
But I'd be more concerned about
Manchester United shouldn't be concerned or worried about anybody else.
Shouldn't be too overly worried about them, no.
No. Right. Well, listen, Brian, it's been fantastic having you here.
Thank you, sir.
We love it. You've heard what Brian said. Leave your comments, press the likes, tune in after the game, and we'll be dancing, me and Webby, when we're here, because we're going to the final. 99.9% sure.